halfway home on a Monday edition of the Darren Smith Show. One more time, Chris Ello and Ben Higgins filling in for Darren, who I believe will be back tomorrow at noon. And a little lineup shuffle this afternoon as well. Scott and BR are on vacation, which means the coach John Quintera slides up. So we'll be talking to him around 3 o'clock on the primetime crossover. And Coach will take you all the way to 6 o'clock today. You're surrounded by Torrey Pines guys, Chris. There's me. There's the coach, John Quintera.
Falcons.
And then there is Pat Perez, PGA Tour golfer, who we're hoping to catch up with here in just a minute. In fact, out on the Corky's hotline right now, we are joined by Pat Perez. Pat, it is good to talk to you again on with Chris and Ben on San Diego Sports Leader of the Mighty 1090. How you doing?
What's up, guys? Just hanging out, not doing much.
You know, I think, I'm looking at the U.S. Open yesterday, and I do think that fans sometimes forget how hard it is, not just to win a major, but to even give yourself a shot, to put yourself in position like Dustin Johnson did last year. I mean, just ask you, how hard it is to even qualify for some of these things. You've had an amazing season. I counted. You've had 10 top 30 finishes on the PGA Tour this year. You're ranked 55th in the world, and that's still not enough necessarily to qualify you for all the majors. That's tough.
No, it is tough. I feel bad for Dustin. I watched all of it yesterday, actually all weekend, and I got to be honest, that's the last thing I thought was going to happen. I didn't know if he was going to make it because the putt was so hard, but I had actually moved all my scheduled stuff today, moved around because I was going to watch the playoffs. And I tell you, that's the last thing I thought. But I told my wife, after watching Jason, I said, if he doesn't just touch this, I said, of course he wants to make it. But worst case scenario, at least you got to give yourself 18 holes to play today. And I just can't believe I can't believe he missed it. But he missed so many of them over the weekend that I'm kind of not surprised, but I'm still shocked that he missed it anyway.
Pat, talking about Dustin Johnson and like you said, the 4 or 5 foot putt seemed to give him problems. At least yesterday, he was struggling with it. He missed several of them on the back nine, and that helped get Spieth back into contention. But how tough are those putts on those greens and under those circumstances? I don't know. Certainly, none of us sitting here can put it into words, can really explain to anybody else the kind of pressure and the kind of thoughts that have to be going through Dustin Johnson's mind as he's getting ready to hit those putts.
Yeah, sadly enough, I've never been in that position. Dustin's been there a lot. That's why he's a top player in the world. He's got every aspect of the game you want. He hits it a mile, he hits that driver straight. I've always told everybody, if he hits it in play, he's so hard to beat because he's hitting. When I play with him, he's hitting 4 clubs less than I am. Who's going to win that battle over time? It's going to be him. If he hits it in play, he is a great major course player. That's just the way. He's always going to be in contention in majors if he's hitting that driver well. So I haven't been there enough, but I do know the pressure that goes on, with just trying to make it. But those greens, they're like putting on concrete. They're so fast. The line has got to be perfect. It just seemed like his speed was off on him. He was a little tentative on him. But man, that place is like it was brutal, and it's just hard. It's hard. If they're not going in perfect, they're not going in. The guy I feel bad for is Brandon Grace. I played with him about a month ago, and I've seen him win some tournaments overseas and stuff like that. He's a great player. If he doesn't hit out of bounds on 16, we got a whole different situation. We got him as the winner. I don't think enough people talked about him losing the tournament. He hits out of bounds on 16. If you put him there the rest of his life, he's not going to hit on that road ever again. And, I feel bad for him because I think I thought it was going to be a 3-way playoff in the end.
He was kind of the forgotten guy, but he played some tremendous golf. Pat Perez, PGA Tour golfer from San Diego, Torrey Pines High with us here on the Mighty 1090. You can follow him on Twitter at Pat Perez Golf. You watch the coverage, you watch the tournament, so I have to get your thoughts on the criticism that some players had. Billy Horschel was merciless after the tournament to the USGA about the condition of the greens. It certainly didn't look that great on television. Casual watchers go, what the heck is this stuff? Brown all over the place. But as a pro watching it, what did you think of the U.S. Open and the setup in Chambers Bay?
Well, it looked hard. It looked hard, but it looked fair. You look at some other Opens, 4 under 1. So or was 5 under 1. So he couldn't have been. And there was numerous guys under par. Adam Scott shot 64 on Sunday. I mean, that's hard to do anywhere, let alone there. So I think it was fair because the way they had it, you could play off all those hills and the greens are real fast. And if you got the right balance or if you play it the right way, you could get it close to the hole. I mean, I hadn't seen so many shots close to the hole, an approach shot in a long time. From what was supposed to be such an impossible setup and greens and this and that. Obviously with the high def now, you can really tell how bad the greens looked, but they seem to be rolling okay. But if you weren't firm, I think what their thing was, if you didn't hit them firm, then they were going to kind of bounce off line. That's what I kept seeing with like Dustin and some other guys coming in, and some guys had some unlucky breaks, and of course a lot of putts should have gone in and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest with you, I thought the course was actually pretty fair.
Pat, I wanted to ask you about Jordan Spieth. I mean, we've talked about Johnson, we've talked about Grace and the guys that didn't quite get there, but what Jordan Spieth has done, and I mentioned this to Ben earlier, he's only the 6th golfer in the history of the sport to win the Masters and the U.S. Open back-to-back in the same year. I mean, this is something that happens less than you get a Triple Crown winner in horse racing. No matter how he won it, I think that we have to sit back in appreciation of what this guy's done, and then don't forget that he's only 21, 22 years old.
Yeah, I've gotten to know Jordan a little bit over time now, and he's a tremendous player. Nothing really flashy, but the thing about him, he's the best putter I've ever seen. Funny enough, we were in a Monday Pro-Am over at Preston Trails a couple weeks ago, and me and Tommy were a partnership, and Jordan and Roger Sloan. We got into a playoff. We got into a putt-off. And, of course, I said it. Tommy hit up there about 1.5 feet. We were about 65 feet from the hole. And I said, there's just one guy I don't want putting us, And sure he made it. He made it. We were bumped out. So, but I've gotten to know Jordan a little bit over time now. He's a great kid. He's got, great parents, great upbringing. He's very humble. I'm not surprised really at all. He does everything well. He drives it well. His irons are great. He puts it better than anybody on the planet. That's just the bottom line. And it'll be surprising. I think Dustin's going to be quite a threat at St. Andrews. I think he's really going to be focused after that deal, and I think he's going to be really hard to beat there because his length is just going to overpower a lot of those par fours. And I think Rory's going to be there as well. So I think Jordan's really going to have his hands full to win this career slam, the Grand Slam that everyone's talking about now. And not that saying that he can't do it, but I think he's really going to have his hands full at that course.
Let me finish by asking you this, Pat, because you came up at the same time as Tiger Woods. So you've basically competed against him all your life, from junior golf all the way up until today. We've seen what he did in his career, starting with the Masters at 21 and 14 majors. Now, this Jordan is a very different kid, different personality, but do you see that ability to perhaps dominate, or will we never see that again, like the stretch that Tiger had over the first 10, 15 years of his career?
Somebody asked me that about Rory as well. I said, is this the next Tiger Woods? I said, I don't think it's fair to label somebody as the next. Like, was there going to be a next Hogan? Is there going to be a next Nicklaus? Is there going to be a next Speed? Is there going to be a next Tiger? I think these guys are going to be their own animal. But the way the Tiger played from 2000, 2005, that stretch, and even winning the Masters in '97, he was so dominant. He was so dominant. He won so many tournaments a year. I mean, Jordan, I know he won the first 2. He's won 4 times. But Tiger was winning 8, 9 tournaments a year. And he only played 15 times. I mean, that's what's incredible. I don't know if he's going to be as dominant because he doesn't hit as far as Tiger used to and overpowered all the par 5s. But the 2 things they had in common is they both putted the same way. They were both the best putter on the planet. They made everything. They made the clutch putts when they had to. And that's why Tiger was so dominant. His scrambling, just like Jordan's, is phenomenal. And it's so early to tell. I hate to say that he's not going to be great, and he could be great or whatever. But I think obviously he's going to have a tremendous career as long as he stays healthy, and he stays within himself, and he doesn't get all caught up in the media and all this other stuff. And I don't think he will, but I think he's going to be a tremendous talent. He's got 2 majors. He's still got to catch Jack, which has 18. He's still got to catch Tiger, who has 14. Time will tell. I can't really predict anything. But I just know he's a tremendous player, and I think he's going to have one hell of a career.
Well, you know who I want to see win a major? At least one? Pat Perez. Yeah. I know you in. I assume you're in the PGA. Are you qualified for the British this year?
No, I'm not. I've got to play. I'm going to Greenbrier next week, and then John Deere. Those are my last 2 tries to get in. They've got a funny system now. They don't have a qualifier anymore. So they take the top 12 players in each of those events, but they only take 4. But you have to finish in the top 12, but you have to finish the top 4 that aren't in. So I played well at Greenbrier. I played well at John Deere, so I've got a chance. I'd love to go over there because St. Andrews. I've played it a couple times now. It's phenomenal. It's obviously the home of golf and everything. It's awesome to go over there. I'm going over there this year for the Dunhill. So I'd like to get over there again, but the PGA I'm looking forward to. I was second alternate. Me and Hoffman sat on the tee in 2010, playing cards the whole day and playing video games and watching everybody play because we were an alternate and didn't get in. But I did get to play the course twice, so at least I've seen it. And, I'm excited to play that. Any major you can play in is obviously going to be fun. I don't care really how they set it up or anything. They're what you want to play in. You're playing against the best in the world. You got a chance to win and get in the history books. And I'll really be looking forward to playing that.
Pat, I hope it all works out, man. Hope we get to see you in the British PGA, either or both. And thanks for the insight today. Very interesting stuff. Good luck.
You guys, thank you guys.
Yeah, good stuff. Pat Perez at Pat Perez Golf on the PGA Tour, having a great year. Like I said, 10 top 30 finishes.
How do you not get qualified for the U.S.
He's
Open?
not quite in the top 50 in the world, so
They
you
open
missed
the
out.
U.S. Open. They open up for everybody on the planet.
You got to qualify, though. You got to go through the qualifying. It's tough to do. That's why it's so impressive, just to put yourself in a position to win one of these things. But I appreciate Pat joining us. If you didn't see this yesterday, Father's Day, AAA Syracuse.